Hey, welcome to a new video. Sharks are fascinating animals that have been swimming around in our oceans for over 420 million years. The largest shark that has ever lived is the Megalodon. A 6-meter great white shark is scary enough, but estimates suggest that the Megalodon was between 15 and 20 meters long. It's also said that only 5% of the ocean floor has been explored, so there's definitely a chance that there's even bigger monsters lurking in the oceans that we haven't discovered yet. Are you new to this channel? Make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell. And before we start, also like the video. In 2016, a man named Steve Backshell of BBC Earth went in search of the most feared predator on Earth, the great white shark. He traveled to a location off the coast of Cape Town in South Africa, which is teeming with sharks. In the area, the so-called Cape fur seal is on the white shark's menu. Steve and his team made a rubber fur seal so they could lure a shark to the surface and film and study it. They succeeded, and as you can see from the footage, a huge white shark jumps out of the water. These sharks can sometimes jump up to 3 meters high. It's estimated that the shark would have been an incredible 6 meters long. In 2015, Discovery Channel had captured another huge shark on camera, which may have been even bigger. The white shark was so gigantic that a news anchor was totally stunned and told them they wouldn't dare go back into the water after seeing this clip. In this video uploaded to YouTube in 2010, we see an experienced diver named Arvil Price who was diving with the colleagues in Guadalupe, Mexico. At one point, a huge shark comes into view and seems to show interest in the diving cage. The divers can't believe their eyes. Eventually, the shark comes back for a second time and even tries to take a bite out of the metal cage. This didn't quite work out, and the shark probably had enough and suddenly swims off again. In 2019, the TV network Global News uploaded a video of 2 shark researchers coming face to face with one of the largest sharks ever captured on camera. Ocean Ramsey, one of the individuals in the video, was diving with her fiancé near the small island of Oahu in Hawaii when they suddenly encountered the enormous white shark. She says in an interview that white sharks should be protected and that people should not be afraid of them. Yet she does not recommend going into the water without any experience. She's an experienced diving instructor who offers activities to swim with the sharks without a cage. Would you dare to do this? Let me know in the comments. In this video from 2019, we see some people out kayaking. In recent years, fishing from a kayak is becoming more and more popular, and you can book this kind of thrilling activity if you dare to do this. As you can see in the video, one of the fishermen has a bite and trying to reel in the catch. After a long fight with the fish, they realize that they have a bull shark on the hook. The bull shark doesn't appreciate this and rams its nose into the kayak several times. The shark seems to be quite ferocious and is very strong. Fortunately, the fisherman can hold on to the kayak to prevent it from toppling over. After a while, the line finally lets go and the shark swims away. In 2017, the YouTube channel GoPro uploaded a video of a man named Johan Potgieter who was spearfishing off the coast of South Africa. Spearfishing is usually practiced while diving with a metal spear of around 50 centimeters, with which they try to catch fish. So Johan was fishing quietly when suddenly this happened. Just watch. He swims to the surface, warns his friend in the boat, and dives down again. A pretty scary moment if you ask me, but luckily everything was fine and he just reaches the boat. In 2013, a German man named Michael Mahar and his research team were looking for a great white shark off the coast island of Guadalupe in Mexico. When they went cage diving, the first day they found nothing, but the second day a huge female white shark came swimming by. They named it Deep Blue, and the shark was estimated to be an incredible 7 meters long. This is also one of the largest sharks ever captured on camera. According to the man himself, the shark was very calm and quietly swam around the cage. According to researchers, the shark might have been pregnant, and as you can see, Michael couldn't resist touching the beautiful animal for a moment. Oceanic is a research team that specializes in exploring the deep oceans and discovering new species. In July 2019, they had managed to tag an animal for the first time ever from a submarine. They were exploring the depths of the ocean in the Bahamas when they suddenly spotted a huge snub-nosed shark swimming by. These sharks are very difficult to study because they don't need daylight. This isn't so much a scary moment, but we had to add it to the list. Especially the moment when the shark looks into the sub is very special. This video is from a Discovery Channel episode called Lair of the Mega Shark. Shark experts Jeff Kerr and Andy Casagrande are in a small inflatable boat and try to place a camera on the shark's fin. However, the shark swims up against the boat and tries to bite through the rope attached to the other boats. It looks nerve-wracking because the shark is also a lot bigger than the small rubber boat the two researchers are in. In the end, they were unsuccessful in attaching the camera to the shark, but it did produce these incredible images. In April of 2013, a man named Isaac Brumigan was kayak fishing by himself in the open sea. After a while, he finally caught a fish. He tries to bring in the fish and suddenly sees a shark jump out of the water that wants to snatch the fish right in front of him. Since the man was in a kayak, he reacts quickly and decides to cut the line and let the fish go. If he didn't do this, the shark might have knocked the kayak over, as it looked like it was in the mood for a tasty fish. In this video, we see Coyote Peterson of the YouTube channel Brave Wilderness. You may have heard of him, as he makes a lot of educational videos about wildlife and is also definitely not afraid to meet them up close. In one of his videos, he visits a place known as Tiger Beach. Tiger Beach is located in the Bahamas, and here you would be able to swim with all kinds of fish, including the tiger shark, without a cage. However, tiger sharks can be dangerous and unpredictable, but generally pose no threat to divers. Still, Coyote got into a pretty scary situation. Have a look at this.
Yikes, that was close.
In July of 2019, a family was fishing from a boat in Cape Cod Bay in Massachusetts, in the United States. Doug Nelson, the person in the video, caught a fish, and as they were about to reel it in, a shark jumped out of the water and snatched the fish right in front of him. In yet another video we found, a woman named Sarah's fishing with her family. After a while, she caught a fish, and then this happened. Take a look.
Oh, he's got no line. That wheel line.
In this video, we see some divers observing an old shark. This is said to have been filmed in an aquarium located in Dubai. The aquarium is located in a shopping mall, where they have a huge tank with the rays, sharks, and sea snakes. They also have a special tunnel where you can walk through to watch the fish. At one point, the shark in the video comes pretty close to the leg of one of the divers, but not much actually happens. Still, I would never want to be that close to a shark myself, because you never know what could happen. Here we see a group of German tourists who are watching seals near Mussel Bay in South Africa, when suddenly a great white shark came swimming towards them. The German tourists had no idea what hit them, and the shark suddenly started biting their rubber boat. According to the man giving the boat tour, the shark had probably mistaken the boat for a dead whale. However, they were still able to sail on, but it cost them $2,000 to repair that boat. In this video, uploaded by ABC News in 2016, we see a great white shark swimming around a cage. The shark seems to be curious, and at one point it gets really close. Craig Capehart, the man who filmed everything, could not believe it, and suddenly found himself face to face with a huge shark. The shark decided to swim into the cage, but luckily also left quite quickly. A man named David decided to surf alone in the ocean one day. As it turned out, however, he wasn't alone. While surfing at the Bluffs campground in California, USA, the man was filming himself with a GoPro when he happened to capture something. In fact, if we look closely, we can see a shark in the same wave as him. Fortunately, he was able to paddle quickly to get away. It's moments like this that make you think about how scary it can be when a shark tries to go after you. Fortunately, the man was otherwise fine and managed to get out of the water without harm. Have you seen 47 Meters Down? A movie where the main characters are trapped in a cage while being stalked by a shark. These events also happen in real life. In fact, the huge shark in this video swam around and got stuck between the cage. Imagine how the diver must have felt when he saw the cruel jaws of the shark staring at him. Another thing that's pretty creepy is how fast the shark swims and how it changes direction. Even though the diver was in the cage, this must have been a terrifying moment when a great white shark comes at you at this speed. This here is one of the reasons why seasoned fishermen don't deep-sea fish in kayaks anymore. In the video, we can see a shark chasing a man in a kayak. The only thing between the man and the hungry shark is a small kayak. As you can imagine, it would be easy for a shark to topple the kayak with its sheer willpower. Fleeing or fighting becomes a lot harder when you're surrounded by water for miles. So the man decided to chase the shark away with his paddle. The shark kept coming back and didn't give up easily. Eventually, the man managed to chase the shark away, but this must have been a terrifying moment. If you thought the great white shark was the only species you don't want to encounter in the ocean, you're wrong. Here, in fact, the men of Discovery captured on camera an encounter with the mako shark. This encounter was unique, however, not only because of the mako's size, estimated by experts at more than 3.5 meters, but also because of its age. When the shark got close, you could even see the scars from brutal fights it has with other sharks. Look at the terrifying jaws of this shark. Which shark do you think is scarier, the mako or the great white shark? You have to be pretty brave to cage dive, knowing there could be several hungry sharks swimming around you. In this video, several people were cage diving when a large shark swam up to them and got stuck in the cage for a while. Surely this must have been a moment for the divers in the cage that made their hearts race. Fear aside, look how big and fearless these sharks are. No wonder they've survived all these millions of years. They even survived the dinosaurs. Would you like to go cage diving? Let me know in those comments. The tiger shark is considered one of the most dangerous sharks to humans. So there's also nothing more terrifying than a tiger shark swimming towards you. Unlike other shark species, which may retreat when they realize you're a human, tiger sharks keep going. They're also powerful enough to bite through skin and bone. And nothing will make you scream and swim to your boat more than a tiger shark that surely is intending to eat you. Fortunately, the man spearfishing in this video had a fishing spear in his hand to keep the tiger shark at bay. Some Discovery Channel divers got a little panicked when dozens of aggressive sharks came swimming towards them. It seems that the more they panicked, the more the sharks were nearby. The sharks even got so close that the divers had to push them away. I suppose for the divers, this was one of the most terrifying moments of their lives. At one point, a shark even swam by looking big and pregnant. Would you be able to stay calm if there were dozens of hungry sharks swimming around you? The man in this video was spearfishing when a giant tiger shark wanted to take his catch. As the diver swam to the surface, a shark came very close to him, wanting to steal the fish from his spear. The tiger shark is one of the most aggressive sharks around, so immediately the man pointed his fishing spear towards the shark. It must have been a pretty frightening moment for the diver, but as a spear fisherman, you know that moments like this can happen, and you have to stay calm. This has to be one of the most terrifying shark videos I could find on YouTube. It's blood-curdling how one moment you're staring at murky water, and the next a great white shark comes into view. This video was taken at New Brighton State Beach in California, USA. In this place, sharks are not an uncommon sight. Usually they act like curious animals, coming to sniff at you if you get too close. This shark, however, came a little too close, and just as quickly as it appeared, it leaves again. You can tell that the great white shark is the perfect predator for an ambush, especially in these waters. Some researchers were on the lookout for great white sharks in this video and studied their behavior. Although we should do our best to protect the species, we should never forget that sharks are unpredictable predators. This video is perfect proof that the great white shark is very intelligent and observant. The researchers from the research vessel were chasing a shark when the shark suddenly jumped out of the water. Incredibly, the shark was keeping up with the speed of the boat and found the perfect timing to jump out of the water, scaring the researcher. Some boys were cage diving somewhere in the ocean when one of the boys decided not to jump into the cage, but into the water next to it. This wasn't such a smart decision because a huge tiger shark came swimming towards him. Fortunately, the boy somehow had a bird cage in his hand to stop the shark. This bizarre moment was filmed by his friends and received millions of views. The boy was lucky to have a bird cage in his hand, otherwise the shark would have probably bitten him. Maybe not as popular as great white sharks, but spinning sharks are so called. This man was having the time of his life while paddleboarding when a spinning shark chased him. And then he was startled when the shark pounced against his paddleboard, causing him to fall into the water. Pretty frightening moment, don't you think? The next time you decide to go parasailing, you might want to reconsider the shark-infested waters you find yourself in. One such incident was filmed in Aqaba, Jordan, in the Red Sea. A man who was parasailing didn't even see the shark, and also had the misfortune of the shark trying to take a bite out of him. The man survived, but narrowly. This will definitely make you think again when you should parasail in waters where sharks are. A surfer named Mick Fanning was pulled underwater by a great white shark during the finals of the J-Bay Open in South Africa. He later described the incident by saying, at first he only felt something stuck in his leg cord, but then he saw the fins and the sharp teeth of the shark. Incredibly, this moment was captured on live TV. Fortunately, Mick managed to fend off the shark and eventually escaped. Meet Snooty the lemon shark. Believe it or not, that menacing grin looks pretty terrifying for a shark. Snooty the lemon shark is a local celebrity in the diving community around the Gulf of Mexico. It's a lemon shark, a species named for the yellowish color of its skin. Divers report being swarmed by sharks in these spots, but the first one that always arrives is always Snooty. And until you decide to come to the surface again, she stays nearby. Spearfishing is a method of catching fish using a fishing spear. However, what many divers do is that they decide to spearfish in waters where many sharks swim. As we can see in the video, there's no one around, nowhere to flee to, and a few seconds later, a huge tiger shark appears, making you panic. The man still remains fairly calm and composed, but things get creepier when the shark disappears out of nowhere into the murky water. A tiger shark is known for its aggressiveness and strength, so this was a pretty frightening moment. Fortunately, the shark simply swam away. Sometimes even scarier than a tiger shark is a group of tiger sharks working together. This is how this brutal cycle, miraculously caught on camera, goes. They feed, swim away to give others a chance, and then return, leaving no survivors behind. There is even a hierarchy. While the leader eats, the others protect him until it's his turn. This encounter had a more than 16-foot or 5-meter long shark crashing head-on into the cage, allowing them to see a bite scar that likely came from a great white shark. This shows just how strong a tiger shark is. When a team pulled an 11-foot or 3.3-meter long tiger shark out of the water in an attempt to tag and release it, the shark resisted so violently that it spit out its lunch. The shark didn't make much noise at first, but once it hit the deck, even its tail would have acted as one of the weapons in its arsenal. No one in their right mind would approach its jaws. I can't help feeling that things could have gone wrong quickly. Fortunately, the shark was only out of the water for 8 minutes. You hear all this stuff about how terrifying sharks are, but it might not dawn on you until you see one up close. In this video, we see one of the infamous sharks from Guadalupe Island in Mexico, and the efforts of a team to study their migration patterns. However, not much would have been studied had it not been for the railing between the shark's jaw and the rest of the crew. To use their own words, the closest would have been toast. It's videos like this that give you a dose of respect and considerable fear of wild animals. Think of the worst possible place in the ocean. Do you have an answer in your mind? How about when you're in the middle of a shark feeding frenzy? With the smell of blood and the promise of a meal, these sharks will tear up anything in their path. But not everything makes sharks go crazy. This moment happened at a reef in French Polynesia, when some groupers wanted to mate. Unfortunately, they attracted the attention of hundreds of hungry sharks. In the 1970s, there was a headline titled, "The Most Horrific Shark Attack in South Africa's History." For decades, the waters around Hwate Bay were terrorized by the lurking threat of an elusive, almost mythical basking shark nicknamed the Submarine. In one of its attacks in 2014, it grabbed a tourist along with a buoy and disappeared before anyone could react. For a long time, people could not understand why sonar displays couldn't find the shark of this epic size. Until some researchers finally managed to capture the basking shark on camera with a submarine. Not surprisingly, it was given the name Killer Shark. How big do you estimate the length of this shark in the video footage? Let me know in the comments. Imagine you're out for a day of boating and suddenly find yourself in shark-infested waters. Then you realize that your boat is little match for the strength and determination of these hungry reef sharks. The sheer terror of a group of tourists is palpable as their guide feeds the shark and is shocked by one of the sharks jumping onto the boat. Although the tourists panicked, everyone stayed in the boat and the shark jumped back into the water. What would your reaction have been if the shark had jumped onto your boat? When diving with sharks, the last thing you want is for the cage to break. In this case, the door is broken from the transparent cage, and the man is holding the door with his hand. This certainly has to be one of the scariest shark moments, as dozens of sharks circle around it. The diver even reported seeing shadows of even larger sharks lurking deeper. If one of the sharks had made only a small attempt to break into the cage, it would have easily succeeded. One smaller shark almost succeeded. It pushed its snout in before the diver reacted and pushed it away. Few daredevils venture into the impossible feat of swimming in the Kauai Channel, which separates the islands of Oahu and Molokai. In all, it is 26 miles or 42 kilometers wide and takes 17 to 20 hours to swim it. A woman named Rainey Pierce tried, but during her trip, she encountered a tiger shark. After a few hours of swimming, during which she was accompanied by a team on a boat and a kayak, the kayak spotted a shark targeting her. It took the combined efforts of the kayak and the boat to protect the woman and get the woman onto the boat, ending her swim. While diving near Pigeon Island in Papua New Guinea, two divers got the scare of their lives when a shark appeared out of nowhere. The divers were swimming at a depth of 187 feet or 57 meters. Suddenly, the shark swam by and hit the head of one of the divers. The diver remembered seeing the super fast shark, but was unable to do anything at the time. Although he got a headache from the force of the blow, both divers were lucky that the shark lost interest. Running into a shark while paddle boating is probably the scariest thing that could happen. Here we see shark expert Chris Follows, who went paddleboarding to take a closer look at a great white shark off the coast of South Africa. He claimed that paddleboarding gave him a better view and a sturdy platform on which he could view the predators freely. Soon, a shark came to investigate him while he was still in the shallows. From shock and excitement, Follows almost lost his balance, but fortunately, he was otherwise fine. It's a diver's greatest fear when a shark gets stuck in the diving cage. After all, there's nowhere to go. The shark would have to somehow free itself or be distracted. In the waters of Guadalupe Island, such an incident occurred with a great white shark. It's pretty interesting when you think about it, that sharks would come close out of curiosity to sniff a foreign object. To the horror of this diver, he came face to face with the intimidating face of a shark. "The water is beautiful today," the woman said seconds before a shark began circling her. Her partner, a few feet away from the boat, calmly tells her to get out of the water. It's also terrifying how you can barely see the shark because it's almost invisible. The fact that they can get so close to you without being noticed and eventually disappear just as quickly is extremely terrifying. The diver will forever remember how close his head got to the mouth of a great white shark. Everyone knows by now that sharks are alarmingly intelligent. This shark approached with the intention of viewing potential prey. The shark's so-called punch was calculated, but it was out of curiosity. The diver was certainly lucky that the shark did not try to bite him. Are you afraid of sharks? Let us know in the comments. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more videos we've made, click one on the screen or take a look at the channel. Thanks for watching and see you next time.